Hey everybody, it's Evan Arcade from Hip Tiki, and on this Tiki Mug showcase we have the Hatbox Ghost First Edition from Disneyland for our Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar from Disneyland. And this was released last year during around the same exact time, since we're doing a sort of Halloween special this whole month long on kind of spooky mugs. We decided to show you last year's mug as well as the one that came out this year. But looking back at last year's, you'll see why this one's a very cool one, because the one at Disney World in Florida actually had the face swapped out right here where the box is. And of course, the Disneyland version from the California was much more coveted and more popular because it just looks better when you see the face right here. And this is actually a very good copy. It's kind of like it's bone with the glaze wipe over it, but a lot of times you would have like these parts right here where the eye was just completely blacked out, or you couldn't see all the detail, and this is actually a very good one. Yeah, you can see all the detail right there in the hat box. This was designed by Tim Wollweber, and Tiki Farm, of course, produced these. Very cool design, very high, tall mug. You can see it's gotta move back. We're doing a horizontal perspective this nowadays because, you know, it's about easier, especially when I have to put them over to YouTube. But look, it's brown on the inside. It's got pretty good volume, not that heavy, but still well built. Like I said, I've always liked bone versions. On the back, you see like Memento Mori gravestone right here. Very cool. And yeah, this was only available at Disneyland. I'm not gonna push it around, rub it around here. It's just paper, but you can hear it because it's all non-glazed. And the version that was released at Disney World didn't have the face here. And so this is 2018. So this year's 2019's version is actually this one from Disneyland, which is actually, let me get this guy out of the way. Oops. Get the camera. This guy right here is the version that was actually released in Disney World. Now, not exactly this color, but this model was released in Disney World originally last year. As you can see, the face is down here with this blank face here. Now, the reason why most people didn't like this version in Florida, and why we just don't like it here either, I would say, is because this is left blank open, like it's just kind of missing a face, when it in fact should be blackened out, because that's how it is in the ride, right? You don't see his face unless it's projected on there from the ride, and so you see it down here instead. The original one also had looked much more, or I should say last year's version of Disney World was a lot lighter, kind of like the one we just saw, but with more of like a blacker, darker brown glaze. This one is a slightly, it still feels like bone, but semi matte, because you get a full-on glaze, you can see here, because it is more like a caramel brown with a darker brown glaze. See the back, same thing, Memento Mori. Nothing much different than the other one. Like I said, these are usually the same ones. They just swapped coasts this year. There you go, second edition, Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar. So, you know, you still have a chance to collect different versions from different places. I believe the one from Disney World, the one that looked like this, because now they have this version. Their version is a white mug with a kind of like an aqua green glaze wipe, which actually looks pretty cool. Actually, it's really nice. I would like it, and I think a lot of people have said it before, is if they released a version that was completely covered like in bluish, you know, kind of like a ghostly blue, greenish glow sort of thing, like a seafoam green with a dark blue wipe. That would kind of make it much more like the ride, or like the character that we see in the ride. Obviously, there's different interpretations of them. Sometimes it's just completely all white or whatever, but different colors, like actual colorful colors, would be pretty nice. Overall, though, still, they're really nicely made. They did a good job, of course, of how they interpreted Tim's art. You know, and some of this is still kind of, like I see, like you can see right here, it's not as defined as this one. You don't see those marks as much. But, I mean, that's what happens when you're mass producing these. You know, you're pumping out like 50 per mold or something like that, and eventually you start losing that detail in those molds and you have to remake them. So some of these you actually get a little bit more detail here too, but unfortunately this isn't covered up. A lot of people have customized these to be a little bit darker here, or done full repaints, which look amazing. If you look at Doug Doerr's custom stuff, definitely look up his work. He's done some very cool custom Hatbox Ghost mugs. Check out his work. But that's pretty much it for this Tiki Mug showcase, showing off the Hatbox Ghost mugs, first edition and second edition from Disneyland. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, Check out our stuff on Hip Tiki. Well, obviously the Hip Tiki channel, but hiparcade.com is the website where you can find all our cool Hip Tiki goods. Don't forget that the Tiki Traveler is kind of crowdfunding right now. It's more of a pre-sale because we want to make them no matter what. But anything that we can, I'm gonna take the bag out right now. Anything that we could get pre-sold right now, I can't really get it all on the camera right now because I have to push the mugs back. But this bag's awesome. If you see me at bars, ask me to take a look at it. You can get a first-hand look at it. And like I said, go ahead and pre-buy it right now while you can so you can still get it from the first batch that we make. As always, mahalo.